Hey everybody, I just realized I think I have my phone still on sound. Anyway, hello, we're going to be doing a live stream today. We haven't done horror trivia in a really long time or just dark games. And finally, Amazon Live is almost ready and up and going. All right. So we're going to be doing today, we're going to be doing horror trivia. Hopefully there'll be some people that will join. I'd love for you guys to answer some questions as they go through them. But we're also going to be talking about just some dark games that you can play throughout the Halloween season, even through wintertime too, just because it's cold and kind of, at least here, it gets pretty wet and miserable. We don't want to be going outside and stuff like that. So every time we hang out with friends, sometimes watching movies and playing video games all the time it can be a little boring, especially if you have a limited amount. So we like to have board games, puzzles, all kinds of stuff. So that's what I'm going to show you guys today. But first, I wanted to share with you that I'm using I almost put up my Blue Yeti, but that is the mic I am using. Not that you need to know that. It is not in my carousel, but I am using an Elgato camera webcam. It is very, very nice. It's really easy to make adjustments. It's easy to go on Google if things are kind of weird, because I know that with the lighting mixed with the camera, mixed with the surroundings, it can be a little complicated, but Google's pretty easy with Elgato. It's really self-explanatory. Also, you'll see in my carousel, it's hard to see because I've got such a dark background, but you can see I'm wearing a little dark headband. It's a little spider web. I like having these headbands around just because I like to celebrate the spooky season all year round, but sometimes, especially today, I really didn't want to do any crazy getup. And some years during Halloween, you know, at least for me, some years I'm just like, I'm not feeling like dressing up in this huge thing. So these hats or headbands are a great way to just kind of, I don't know, celebrate in your own way. Or if you're in a workplace or something like that that doesn't want you to get all costumed up, and you can just, you know, have a little cute Halloween creepy headband. All right, so I'm going to talk with you guys first, and that's my spiel. So we'll now get on to the actual games and whatnot. So the first one I want to share with you is a really, really popular game. There's a reason why you'll see in the carousel down below. There are so many reviews, and it's 12,000. It's almost 13,000 people have reviewed this particular game, and it's still 5-star. That means it's good, you guys. So here's the game. And I love playing this during the spooky season. I apologize. I think I actually might be allergic to my cats, so I'm waking up more with dry eyes than I was when I was gone from my house. So that's a revelation. Anyway, so my eyes are a little irritated today. All right, so the first game is called Betrayal at House on the Hill. This is a great game, and I'm hoping I can get some kind of setup going during Halloween season, because my friends and I love playing this game, especially during Halloween, all through September and October. And that's kind of when we do pull this game out. We'll pull it out a lot, but more often it is right now, all the way up to Halloween, after Halloween, because it's just a really fun game. So here's kind of what it looks like. I'm hoping, like I said, to get a setup so you guys can actually see me playing this game with other people and see actually how it's done. There's a lot of videos on that, but I'm, here just to review it for you. So there are hundreds. I'm trying to remember how many exactly different games in this one board game. So you have different rules, 2 little rule books in here that basically explain all of these different games. So you're not stuck on one game, which is super nice. This changes all the time. So every time you play this game, it's always different. Even if you play the same rule or the same set of games, it's still different, because the way it's done is every turn you are unraveling the spooky haunted house, and you're kind of building the house as you go. So it's kind of cool. It's really fun. This is for 2 to 6 players, I believe. Let me just triple check that. It might be 3 to 6. It's been a bit. Okay, 3 to 6. That makes more sense. And it's about an hour of playtime. some things that we have done for this game, especially if we have bigger Halloween parties and more people want to contribute, there is a trader every time you play this game, and it's always random. You don't know who the trader's going to be. Even the trader didn't even know he was going to be a trader. So sometimes we like to double up. So you know, instead of just having one person as the trader, a friend can join along and kind of like be a little more tactful. It's kind of fun to do it that way, just because you know, some of these games in here can be very complicated and a little, you know, it's a little hard to understand sometimes. But this is a great game, great board game for parties. And if you are really into just board games itself, this has a lot of gameplay value. So definitely check this one out. This one's by far my favorite, and it's just really fun. So that's Betrayal on the House on the Hill. It's so great. There's an expansion as well, which I haven't played yet, so I'm really curious about it. So, and if you've played this game, let me know how you have found this game to be with your friends and family. All right, the next one we're going to be talking about is actually a puzzle. So I'm not going to get into horror trivia quite yet. I'm going to save that for the end-ish, or maybe I'll integrate it throughout this whole thing. You can see here, I've got this massive box next to me. So there's quite a few games we're going to be talking about today. All right, so the next one is actually puzzle. So hold on a second. I gotta find it. All right. Here's the puzzle. All right. So I love puzzles, and it's actually really fun to. One thing that we do at my house is we'll just kind of have a puzzle ongoing. And if you feel like sitting down and doing a puzzle, you know, you could just sit and do the puzzle, and it'll just hang out there, and people can contribute to it if they want to, or they could just, you know, whatever, it's a puzzle. This is fun. This is great for the spooky season. So this is the jigsaw puzzle. This is, let's see, Hammer House of Horror, all the different posters. This one's particularly fun because, as you can tell, it's not, I mean, it looks like it might be really difficult, but it's not too bad, just because you can tell by all the different colors on the poster. It's easy to kind of identify each little poster on here, but it's still really fun because there are so many tiny, intricate details going on in this puzzle. It is really cool. This is 1,000 pieces, and it's pretty large. Let's see. It has, it's 20 inches by 28 inches, so it's fairly average. But it's great if you, I also think puzzles are a great kind of gift option if you have people in your life that are little, you know, board game players or love puzzles. I have friends who like to do puzzles and then frame puzzles. This is a great option for any of your horror lover fans who just love all of those things and put it together. It's just a unique gift idea. Things that I'm going to be streaming about from now until basically Christmas is like, not only are these great Halloween idea options, but they're also great gift options for like Christmas, because Christmas is coming up so fast. I can't believe that we're almost actually, I mean, September's in a couple days, and it's already getting cold over here. So I was like, I haven't even had time to paddleboard anyway. So keep these kinds of things in mind, these really unique ideas for your creepy friends out there that, you know, you're like, I don't know what to give them. Sometimes things like this can be more meaningful because it's like, oh, you thought about me. You know that I love horror and these posters and all that stuff, and puzzles. So check this one out. It's really good. Let me see if I could pull out a couple pieces for you guys. Not that it's really that big of a deal, but pretty standard, you know, puzzle size. There's no weird shapeliness about them. Some puzzles, they can be curved because they're like a circular puzzle. This one's square. It's average. But like I said, just the colors are a little more complex because we have so many different posters being featured. All right, so the next one, since it's right here, please, since you guys have joined me on Amazon, even if it's YouTube or wherever, I'd love to hear answers from you guys. We're going to do a few questions of the Trivial Pursuit Nightmare Before Christmas. So I hope some of you guys are actually Nightmare Before Christmas fans. I am not the best at this one, I have to be honest. And Trivial Pursuit is oddly really complicated. They do a really great job. So let me see if I can find it. All right. So here is our Nightmare Before Christmas Trivial Pursuit game. I am going to be asking some questions to you. There might be some gaps and some pauses because there's a bit of a delay between the stream and what you guys are watching. So feel free to answer. If you're wrong, no judgment. I mean, I would get probably every single one of these ones wrong. And Trivial Pursuit is crazy. All right. So let's go. I hope some of you guys like Nightmare Before Christmas. So here is my first question. What type of car does the mayor of Halloween Town drive? Maybe I should type these questions on the carousel here so that you guys can actually answer it properly. I apologize for the loud noises here. All right, let's see if it, here we go. All right, so the first question is, so that you guys can actually see it, is what type of car does the mayor of Halloween Town drive? I said mayor of Halloween, but I think you guys know what I'm talking about. So again, for those of you that just joined me today, this is from the Trivial Pursuit Nightmare Before Christmas game. So get your head into the Halloween Town, Christmas Town. I do not know the answer to this, which is silly because I really should have known the Trivial Pursuit's evil because it's like they give you these like very detailed questions, and then when you know the answer, it's so obvious, and you're like, oh, that's how I feel at least. All right, so what type of car does the mayor of Halloween Town drive? It is, because nobody's answered yet, I think everybody's a little shy, it's a hearse. Let me see if I can find something a little easier, maybe get you guys, I know it's a little early for some people, so let's see. Oh boy, none of those are really easy. Let's see. Okay. What does Jack give the vampires to work on for Christmas? That might be a little hard. So let me do this one and rewrite this one. Hello, Blake. Thank you for joining. Yeah, you got the hearse correct, and you knew that it's called the Mayormobile. I would not have guessed that properly. All right, so here's the next question. What does Jack give the vampires to work on for Christmas? Let's see if I can put this up here. There we go. So again, Nightmare Before Christmas, get your head in the Nightmare Before Christmas, culture references. I need to rewatch Nightmare Before Christmas. No matter how many times I rewatch movies, there's always these small little details that I forget, or I just, you overlook it all the time. And Trivial Pursuit is evil because they pick up on all of these things. So again, for those of you that may have just joined, what does Jack give the vampires to work on for Christmas? Don't feel shy for answering, and if you're like, I don't know, and you're wrong, I would not know what this is, and I accidentally already looked at the answer, so I can't contribute. I probably would have said like a toy car or something like that. I just can't remember, although maybe that wouldn't make sense if it was a toy car. Maybe like thinking of a coffin or something that you would build. That's where my mind was going. All right, so the answer to this question is a talking doll. That is what Jack gives the vampires to work on for Christmas when he's crafting all these Christmas gifts. All right, let's see if I can find something that's a little easier. What does Sally use to trick Dr. Finkelstein into thinking she is eating the soup? So I remember this one. I think I would have gotten this one right, so I'm going to refrain from answering it. But let me actually write this. All right. Here we go. Let's show it. Okay, so what does Sally use to trick Dr. Finkelstein into thinking she is eating the soup? This one's a pretty, I would say, a more iconic scene in The Nightmare Before Christmas. I have to sip some coffee. I'm still tired today. And I understand, like, I'm still technically waking up. I still haven't finished my first cup of caffeine of the day. And while you guys are thinking about it or contemplating answering, make sure to type down below where you guys are watching from. We'd love to hear from you. What are some of your favorite Halloween themes? Or maybe you already have a Halloween theme in mind that you're going to do this year. All right. Blake said frog's breath. Kind of. So it's preventing Sally from actually drinking the soup that Dr. Finkelstein gives her, because he's like, oh, try the soup, and she sips it and she's like, oh yeah, that's so good, but it doesn't actually happen. Hey Jaleesa, nice to see you. Thank you for joining us. Right now we're doing some Nightmare Before Christmas Trivial Pursuit. Hopefully somebody will know the answer. These are hard. Trivial Pursuit is a little evil just because they always ask these very detailed questions, and you're always thinking, well, I'm a huge fan of Nightmare Before Christmas, I should know this. All right. So we had the answer to this is a slotted spoon. So that's what she uses to trick Dr. Finkelstein from actually like drinking the soup. Okay, we'll do one more question from the Nightmare Before Christmas deck, because this one's actually quite difficult. And I know it's, wait until we do the horror Trivial Pursuit, because that one's super hard. And I feel like I'm decent with horror movies. All right. So my next and final question is, what is Locke's Halloween disguise? So we have Locke, Shock, and Barrel, the three evil little minions who capture Sandy Claus. What is Locke's Halloween disguise? And I think I knew that one. So let me write this one up real quick. Forgot a question mark. I apologize. Oh, yay! Jaleesa likes horror movies. That's wonderful. Me too. It's one of we're obsessed. We weren't feeling too well on Saturday, and I know this isn't a horror movie, but we were watching Netflix and watching the Skinwalker Ranch docu-series on Netflix, just because I don't know, we were sick. We were just like, let's watch something ridiculous. It was pretty good. I was like, oh, this is a little sinister. It's fun. Oh, Jaleesa, you're adorable. Kidnap the Sandy Claus, throw him in a box. That's cute. All right, so Locke's Halloween costume is actually a devil. If you remember, he's wearing the mask, and it's all, it's actually kind of creepy. And then he's got the little devil horns. So, yay, I'm glad. Jaleesa also likes Skinwalker Ranch. Yay, somebody else likes weird, creepy things. All right, so we'll move on from this one, but we'll keep doing some more horror questionnaires, Trivial Pursuit, that kind of thing. This one is Nightmare Before Christmas. It's actually quite difficult. I obviously love the coffin shape of this particular Trivial Pursuit. It's fun, but it is great for not just Halloween, but I like to use it for, November and December, because I love mixing Halloween and Christmas together. It's just perfect. So check this one out. This is the Nightmare Before Christmas Trivial Pursuit. The next one is going to be, I think this is the smaller horror Trivial Pursuit. So let me grab that real quick. I just have so many things in this little box here. It's hard to keep everything contained. All right, so one thing I don't like necessarily about Trivial Pursuit, I like and I dislike this. I like the shape of this box. I think it's fun. So if you have multiple Trivial Pursuits, you can actually make this, whole flower shape, and it's kind of cute. But I don't like it because the plastic lid falls off all the time. So it's really easy if you've got a crazy setup like I do. It's easy for things to fall out of place. Anyway, that was my little ramble here. So we are going to be doing a mini horror edition of Trivial Pursuit. And these questions are hard. They're very difficult. So I hope there's some horror fans out here. So each question has a different genre that it covers. So we have here different, you'll see different symbols. I'm hoping my camera can do it justice, but we've got like paranormal, there's serial killer, international, there's kind of like exorcist sort of things. So a whole mix of different horror genre questions. So let me find a random question and ask you guys. Hopefully you'll have some answers. So this is the horror movie edition of Trivial Pursuit. All right. So the first question, and I'll try to make sure to write this down also after I do the thing. So I'm just going to randomly ask a question. In the Hills Have Eyes from 2006, what Californian city is the Carter family traveling to? I actually don't think I've watched The Hills Have Eyes since 2006. So I don't know the answer, and I hope I didn't mess it up. Oh my god, did I just miss the question? Oh crap. I think I lost my question. Oh no. That will be very sad. I think I actually did miss my question. I don't know. Maybe one of you guys will know that answer, but let me move on. I'm sorry. I totally mixed up the question. I got a little crazy there. Okay. In what decade is the Texas Chainsaw Massacre in 2003 set? So it's not 2003. It's what decade that movie was actually set in. So the 60s, 70s, 80s, etc. So let me know what you guys think the answer is. Let me actually get this written out up here so you can actually see it. Okay, let's show that. All right, so I'll just say it out loud again. In what decade is the Texas Chainsaw Massacre in 2003 set? And I don't think I would have gotten that one right. Barely. So I'll give you guys like a few, maybe like a minute. Hopefully you'll be able to answer the question. Love to hear from you. Hopefully you'll be able to get the question correct. So the question I placed down here so it's easier for you guys to actually know so I don't have to repeat myself. So hopefully somebody knows. I'm going to drink some water though. And there is a bit of a delay on Amazon, so that's why I have to like let it go a little slowly. So I apologize that I'm not going through things super fast. All right. So in what decade is the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2003 set? So not 2003, but like what time is the actual movie set in? So a couple more seconds and then I will give you guys the answer. It is 1970s is when that was set. So let's go on to another question. This movie was horrifying to me. So I wonder if you guys will be able to get this answer. This is from the international section of the card right here. So in Martyrs from 2008, what is the title of the leader of the sinister organization? I wouldn't be able to get this one. I'm just curious if there's somebody else that may know. And I will type it all out for you so that you guys can think about it. All right, here is the question down below. No cheating, you guys. I know it's tempting. You've got your phone out there trying to look everything up. I would probably do the same thing. I'm bad. Sorry. I just admitted I would cheat. I apologize. Also, for those of you that just joined, we are, by the way, going through the horror movie edition of Trivial Pursuit. So there's a whole slew of different questions. This is really hard, the questions that they ask. I mean, there's so many horror movies out there, and they pull from every single one. So it's really awesome for any horror lover out there in your life. These are really great games to just kind of have on hand. And for Halloween coming up, do a big movie night and then pull this deck of cards out just to play some games too and watch scary movies. It would be a great chill Halloween, night to have. Also, make sure to comment down below on where you guys are actually watching from. I'd love to hear from you. And do you guys have any idea about what Halloween themes you guys are going to be doing this year, or if you even have any? All right. So the answer to this question is Mademoiselle. And I can't remember that at all. That one was a bit of a hard question. Let's see if I can find a easier question. I haven't seen this one in a very, very long time. Okay, so 30 Days of Night in 2007 is set in which American state? And I don't think I can actually get this one, but I feel like that would be a question. Hello, Stephanie and Gabrielle. It's Alaska, she says. She very confidently. You got that right off the bat. I'm not even going to write that down. Gabrielle is just on it. It is Alaska. Good job. I should have known that. But that's good job. Geez. Okay. So let's do another one. I'm excited. Okay. What is the name of the clairvoyant character that helps the Freeling family in Poltergeist in 1982? So I'll make sure to write that one down because there's a lot going on in that question. Oh, I thought Gabriel answered it already. I was like, I didn't even finish typing. Okay. Maybe this one is a harder question. Okay, so here is the question, and I apologize. It's Freeling family. I apologize. My typing was clearly not doing the best. Okay, let me Freeling. I need a better keyboard, so that's something I should shop for on Amazon. All right, so those of you that have just joined today, make sure to comment down below. I just posted the question from the horror movie edition. We're doing a few horror trivia questions. I'm hoping you guys can answer some of these. These ones are really difficult because we have questions from, contemporary horror movies, things that just came out, or things from way back. I've seen questions from like 1931. Here's an example, like the movie Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde from 1931. So this game is for huge horror movie buffs, in my opinion. It's very, very difficult, but it's fun. You get to learn a lot of stuff. All right, so since I did post the question, I think you guys can see it. If you know the answer, go ahead and type it down below, but I'm going to say it now since there is a bit of a delay on Amazon. So if you've seen Poltergeist, maybe it's a familiar question to you, but it's Tangina Barrons. Oh man, there are so many horror movies that I just haven't seen in a long time where I'm just like, I don't remember where any of this stuff, I don't know. All right, let's see. Okay, let me find one that might be a little easier that people can. This one's more recent, 2010. It's not that recent, but here's something a little more contemporary. In Insidious from 2010, Dalton is one of how many Lambert children? I feel like Insidious is kind of one of those movies a lot of people really enjoy, though, and I'm sure somebody is going to know what the answer is. So I'll write it down. In Insidious from 2010. So I will guess, just because it's been a long time. I haven't seen this one in a while. I actually think we did watch this one in theaters. So, I mean, it's been over a decade. I think it's 7. I might be wrong, though. I'm going to look. Okay, I am wrong. It's not 7, by the way. So I typed down the question. If you guys want to know or if you want to contribute some answers. Gabriel says, isn't he the only child? He is not the only child. So Dalton is one of how many Lambert children? He is actually 3, which I might be mixing up my movies a little bit. Okay, we're going to move on to the next one. Okay, let's see. Well, let me see where my time's at. Oh, yeah, we've got plenty of time. Okay, so I guess maybe what are some of your guys' favorite horror movies? Maybe if I can get a feel of things that you guys really enjoy watching, I'll be able to pull some cards that might be a little easier. But I'm going to try to pull another question that's a little more recent. Let's see if I can find something. We have, okay, this one I think a lot of people might know. What is the main town in which It from 2017 is set? Okay. I was like, did I know? So I will write it down, but I feel like Gabrielle is going to get this right off the bat, and I'm going to spend all this time typing, and she's going to be on it. Okay. So what is the main town? Oh, she did. Gabrielle, you're awesome. Yes, it's Derry. So Derry is the main town in which It from 2017 takes place. Good job. I am impressed. There's a lot of great horror movie fans on Amazon Live. It's really awesome. All right. So let's do another one here. Okay, let's see. Oh, in Mama from 2013. In what century did Edith Brennan jump to her death? So this is multiple choice. Is it the 17th century, the 18th century, or the 19th century? So I can type this down. I can type this out for you, but I have a feeling Gabrielle is just going to kick my butt. Okay, so in Mama from 2013, what century did Edith, oh goodness, jump to her death? Okay, I think I've got this all typed out properly. Oh, Gabrielle. Okay, this is the question. So Gabrielle says the 18th century. So why did you say the 18th century? Now I'm actually curious. I haven't seen Mama in a long time either. See, I'm just terrible. How can I say I'm a horror movie fan if I can't remember anything? So I'm waiting to, she guessed. Oh yeah. Hey, you know what? If you've got multiple choice options, guessing's the perfect thing to do. I thought maybe you knew, like, maybe there was like some dress thing you might have remembered. You're like, is that 17th or 18th century? It's actually 19th century is when she jumped to her death. So I'm gonna move on to a different horror trivia game. I think this one's a little easier. It pulls from more popular horror movies. So before I leave, just a review. This one is the horror movie edition by Trivial Pursuit. This has so many questions in here. I mean, like, there's just a lot of different cards. I picked up half of the cards with different kinds of questions, from poltergeist, supernatural stuff. We have international horror questions in here. I personally love international horror movies. They're some of my favorites. We have serial killer movies, slashers. All of those different categories are featured in this particular deck. And this is the smaller deck. I think in my carousel, I also have the big Trivial Pursuit game, which I will pull out a little later. But it has more questions, the entire game board, and all of that fun stuff. But let me move on to the next horror movie trivia game that's a little easier. So there's actually two different sizes for this one. Let me find it. So before we continue with our Trivial Pursuit games, before we keep going with our horror trivia games, I just wanted to tell you guys some of the things I really like about this particular horror trivia set. We have two different sizes, like I said. One of them, I like this one just because it's perfect for traveling. I know over the summer, my husband and I have been talking about doing road trips and that kind of thing. And sorry, I'll take my question off. And I think having these on hand for travel, like on the airplane, a long car trip, will make things more fun, and time will go by so fast because we're all going to be talking about horror movies, and it would just be really fun. And there's no you don't have to follow the exact rules in here. You can just use the trivia questions, make your own rules up. But we have a lot of questions if you combine the two sets together. The whole point of the game is you're supposed to, quote, survive the night. So you're supposed to collect all of these different cards with different weapons on the cards themselves. And whoever collects all of the different weapons will survive the night. So you want to answer all these questions. The other interesting thing about these cards, and I will share it with you, is we actually have two questions. So a top and a bottom. You have to answer according to the rules. You can do it however you want, but the rules say you have to answer both of these questions in order to obtain the weapon. So you can see here we have your weapon at the very top here. Each card, I think there's 5 different weapons that you can collect. So here's one, here's another one. We have another one. So you can see, I think there's 5 total you can collect. You either collect 3 of the same weapon or you collect 5 different ones. And that's how you win the game technically. But there are 2 questions featured on each card. And I will get started and start asking you guys all of these questions. And these should be a little easier. These are pulled from more popular horror movies. And it's only movies, which is very nice. We're not including books and other stuff because that would just be insane. All right, let me share with you some of these questions. Okay, my first question. The late Aaliyah starred in which 2002 movie based on the Anne Rice book series, The Vampire Chronicles? I would have gotten this one because I love horror books as well. You can see, by the way, since I have the opportunity here, we do stream about more than just horror games. If you like horror everything, including scary books, children's toys, Halloween aesthetic, witchy stuff, go ahead and give us a follow. We're going to be doing streaming all throughout Halloween because this is our season. It's the dark side of the library over here. But we like to do this stuff all year round too. So if you like it, give us a follow. Thank you, Gabrielle, by the way, for the follow. I'm glad that you are following us because you were so much fun to play these games with. All right, so I'm going to repeat this question. Hopefully I don't give it away. The late Aaliyah starred in which 2002 movie based on the Anne Rice book series, The Vampire Chronicles? I have a lot of feels for this because I loved Aaliyah growing up. It was really sad that she died so early. But this movie was it was a bad representation of the book. All right. I'll give you guys a few more seconds because there is a delay on Amazon Live, and then I will tell you the answer. Maybe I'll type up the questions again down below. All right, so Aaliyah was in Queen of the Damned. It's a bit of an older movie, and yes, it's technically horror because it's got vampires in it. So of course, anything with a vampire in it is a horror movie. But it is Anne Rice. All right, the next question. What was Leatherface's weapon of choice? I hope I get this right. Let me look. No, I didn't get this right. Crap. Okay, so I'm going to type this one out. Feel free to guess. Gabriel has been awesome and has been guessing this whole time. Go ahead and join them because it's no fun doing this by yourself. Let me type the question up so it's a lot easier for you guys. Hopefully somebody will get the answer here. So what was Leatherface's weapon of choice? So we've got another slasher movie. Hopefully somebody is familiar with our awesome slasher movie things. I'll give you a few more seconds. And for those of you that just joined us on Amazon Live today, we are going over the horror trivia game. These are trivia questions, mostly about horror movies. So it doesn't include books, even though I did just give you a Queen of the Damned question. It's technically a movie too, but it's mostly movies. There's no video games, none of that stuff. But it's a lot easier than Trivial Pursuit, that's for sure. All right, Gabrielle answered it. You are correct. You are just so awesome. So it is a chainsaw is the answer to Leatherface's weapon of choice. I thought it was a machete, but I always get I'm trying to remember the two together. Okay, so the next question, let's see if I can find something a little. Okay, hold on. We are going to do. Hold on. Okay, here, let's do this one. I'm sure a lot of you guys can answer this one probably right away. I won't probably have to type this one. Good Ash, bad Ash. I'm the guy with the gun. Name the movie. That one's that one's probably going to be. I don't even need to type that one. I'm so excited. All right, I'm going to repeat that one more time. Good Ash, bad Ash. I'm the guy with the gun. I can't do movie impersonations. Otherwise, I would genuinely try. I would. Oh, yes. You're supposed to name the movie. Where is that? What is that from? I'll give you guys a few more seconds and then I will let you know. Good Ash, bad Ash. I'm the guy with the gun. All right, so that is from Army of Darkness. That I actually have the movie poster up, so I at least knew that one. Good for me. Okay, so here is another one. I want to try to get some of these other cards out. I haven't opened part of this deck yet. Okay. Here's another question. The serial killer in Scream wears a mask inspired by which Edvard Munch painting? I think a lot of people could probably just guess what this one might be. So I will take this one off here. I apologize. Okay, so the serial killer in Scream wears a mask inspired by which Edvard Munch painting? I'll give you a few more seconds here. All right, it is called The Scream. Isn't that fun? I actually love the concept of how they were able to do that. Oh no, Gabriel, I'm sorry that your keyboard isn't working. I'm having an issue of that too. I was like, oh man, I thought you left, which is fine. I understand we all have lives here, but I was like, no, my partner went away. Okay, so I'll ask one more question from this horror movie deck, and then I got to move on to share some of the other stuff I've got going on here that's more than just horror trivia. Okay, so I hope this next one's good. I'm not going to look at it. I hope it's good. Okay. I haven't seen this movie in a long time. Okay, so where is the 2008 movie The Strangers entirely set? Okay, I would have gotten that right. So just to give you a bit of a hint, it's not telling you or asking you what state or anything like that, which I would feel like that would be a very difficult question. It's just asking you what the set is for The Strangers in the entire movie, what it is. That movie is actually, I think, it was my sister's favorite movie because it scared her the most. And I totally agree with her. I think it's a pretty horrifying movie in general. And I will explain why later. So, for those of you that just joined, our last question for horror trivia is, where is the 2008 movie The Strangers entirely set? So we're doing this out of the horror movie trivia game. This is not the Trivial Pursuit game. This is an entirely different game, which is down in the carousel below. It's a lot easier than Trivial Pursuit. And it draws a lot of the questions from mostly movies, and I would say they're well-known movies versus some of the obscure movies are really old movies that are, like I haven't seen Jekyll and Hyde from 1931. I don't know about you, but I have not. All right. So I know that Gabrielle was saying that their keyboard wasn't working properly. So I'm assuming they probably know what the answer is. If you know the answer, go ahead and type. But so the set that The Strangers from 2008 was a house. It was just a house. It was that home invasion movie, and it was kind of a big deal, I would say, back then. They hadn't really done very many home invasion movies, at least two. I would say it was freaky. We had a home invasion not that far away from us, actually. It was really, really sad and terrible. It's one of those movies where it's not that supernatural fear. It's like stuff that could potentially happen to anybody. All right, so I'm going to move on to some other games for you guys to check out, because there's so many awesome games for like Halloween and the spooky season, especially as things start cooling off. I know over here I opened up our back door and I was like, oh my God, I can actually see my breath, which is kind of weird because it was so hot like 2 weeks ago. So one thing I wanted to share with you guys is, just regular playing cards. It has obviously so many games associated with it, but there's two that are really cool. So I don't know where the other one is. This one, there's two, and I posted down in the carousel one of the Haunted Mansion cards. And the Haunted Mansion cards, they actually glow in the dark. The one I'm sharing with you guys today is actually the Nightmare Before Christmas deck. And I like this one because it looks tea stained. It has a different kind of color aesthetic than the other one, which is, your pretty traditional black and white with some hues of red, as most horror things are. So this one's a little more fun. We have here on the back of the cards, Jack on a pumpkin, the Christmas wreath, which is by far my favorite, one of my favorite little monsters from Nightmare Before Christmas. So each card is just, pretty ordinary. I would say it's really fun with all the little spirals, though, for the numbers. That makes it really fun. If you have somebody in your life that is a Nightmare Before Christmas fiend and they don't have a deck of cards, these ones are really fun. Here we have Jack. And I love the dichotomy that they've used here for the art on the major cards or the royalty cards. Let's see. Here's Ace. This is Shock. They're identical looking on each side, but it's really cool. We have a Barrel here in Lock. The King card is really fun, though. So we have Christmas Pumpkin King, and then we also have just flames coming out of Pumpkin King. Really awesome. And Metal Pumpkin King. And we have the Vampire Doll. Oh my God. So that was one of the questions that we went over earlier today on the Trivial Pursuit game, was what the vampires were told to make. And it was the Vampire Doll. I don't know. Oh my God. Okay. Here it is. Vampire Doll. And then, of course, we have beautiful Queen Sally in her Christmas thing and her Halloween tree. They're both really cute. So I just wanted to share. Oh, and the Joker card, obviously. So some games on regular decks require the Joker card. And here we have Oogie Boogie, who looks really cute. Oogie Boogie is kind of adorable. He's a hard villain to hate for me. Anyway, so I want to share with you guys this Disney Park playing card deck set because the Haunted Mansion ones are really cool. They glow in the dark. These ones do not glow in the dark, but they're very fun. These make for a great gift. I love the coffin set here. It's really just fun. You've got little cool spider webs, and it's actually lined inside. You have your, let me actually put the deck inside of here just so you can see it. But it's lined and makes it look so nice as if it's a real coffin. And it's kind of sinister, but also just really fun. Here we have the deck of cards able to sit in there, close it up. It's a great gift option. It really is, especially if you know somebody that doesn't have playing cards. You joke about it. You're like, hey, we can't play cards with you. This is a great gift option, and it's just really cool. So some other things, and down below, I did list a bunch of the Disney Park cards that you guys can see. The one that is on sale for sure is the Haunted Mansion cards that glow in the dark, which I think those ones would be great for things like camping. So so that you can actually kind of see things, it's dim over in camping land. So that's something I would bring. The next thing I wanted to share is actually, so this isn't horror trivia, but it is dark. So this is by Cyanide and Happiness, and this already has like a lot of reviews. That's because it's awesome. So this is the Trial by Trolley game. This is so much fun. So I'm going to share with you guys a few bits of this because it really is hilarious. You can have as many people as you want play this game. I mean, if you had 50 people in a house and you guys were all like, let's play Trial by Trolley, you can do that. That is a possibility. It would be crazy though. So be aware that you may lose friends playing this game just because you're arguing and trying to convince the conductor which track to choose and who to run over, essentially. It is a conundrum puzzle. It's an ethics question. Who is more worthy of dying than the other one? So here is Trial by Trolley. This one is hilarious. It's really fun. So as you can see, even on the cover, who would you rather, who could you run over? The little adorable old couple holding each other or the innocent child with the ice cream cone. So it's pretty sinister, but hilarious and fun. Here is what your board looks like. You honestly don't even need a board. I like that they give you just, here's a board. If you must have one, here it is. So here's your board. You obviously start here and it's like, oh God, which way do I go? So that is now the other team's jobs to place down different cards. So the first card that people will play are either these good cards. So these are all cards that are like, hey, you don't want to run this thing over. You don't want to be on my side of the track. Go over there because I've got the best good card. So an example of that would be the Supreme Court justices you agree with. Or you have a second grade recorder recital. Another example is all of your biggest fans, if that's who you are. We also have everyone that that the person to your left loves. So that's a case where you probably couldn't, I mean, you probably could play with 50 people, but that would make it really difficult. So those are all the good cards you can place. So that's your first set that you place on the track. Now the other set are your bad cards. So let me show you some of your devious evil cards. These are cards that you actually place on the other person's track. So it's like, please don't go on my track because I've got I've got here. I have Steve Irwin. Turns out he was just faking his death the whole time. You don't want to be on my track. You want to be on the other person's track because we have a raccoon with rabies heading towards a playground. You want to not have that raccoon there, so go over to that other track. Another example is your racist uncle. So there's a lot of cards in here that are Michael Bay. There's a whole range of cards, and they're a little sinister. Some of them can be totally ridiculous. George Lucas at the exact moment he thought of Jar Jar Binks. So as you can see, a whole slew of different things. All the kids that used to make fun of you. So these are the cards that you put on the other person's track to hopefully lure the conductor over to their track. Now we have one more set of cards that we can place on the tracks. And these are kind of like amplifier cards. So here's what it looks like here. You can place this card on any good or bad card to influence it a little bit. So an example would be, so here we have has a 50% chance to survive and gain trolley themed superpowers. I mean, you could like put that with the bartender who will one day invent hangover free wine and be like, hey, look at that. I'm not sure actually how this card would really severely affect anything. Here we go. Will be reincarnated as the world's cutest dog. Here you can put it on this bartender card, and it's like, oh, you definitely don't want to run over the bartender, because do you ever want to be hungover? And they'll turn into the cutest dog ever. So there's or actually that would be a lure. But anyway, sorry, I'm explaining this a little crazily. But the whole point is by the end of you guys placing all of your cards on the track, that's where you start debating, and then you try to convince your conductor whether or not you should go on each track. It's a great game. I highly suggest it. It's a perfect party game. This game here is the Trial by Trolley game. It can be quite dark, especially when you're trying to convince people to run other people over. That's not an easy decision to make. So check that one out. It's really fun. I'm going to quickly put it away, and then we are going to move on to another game that I haven't gone over quite yet. We will probably be playing this game. I believe my co-host Carrie and I are going to try to play this game, and maybe you guys can convince us which track to go on. We'll be hopefully planning to do this one pretty soon, and then you guys can actually play, and it'll be a good time. It'll be fun. Hopefully not too violent, but it'll be fun. All right, so the next thing are these cards are not necessarily super dark, but they're weird. They're kind of like more of a trivia fact game. These are the Games Room trivia cards. So not only do we do creepy, dark, sinister things over here, but there's a lot of bizarre stuff as well that we like to showcase because that's also kind of dark sometimes. So this has a lot of interesting facts in here, and I will share with you guys. Please feel free to answer any of these questions if you feel like you know. It's a very simple instructions, which I have found right here. So here are our instructions. Super simple. Here is an example of what the cards actually look like. So we have here the question, and as you can see, these are highlighted. So if you want to make it really easy, you only need to present these two answers. If you want to make it really difficult for people, you don't present any answers, no multiple choice whatsoever. So it's really kind of depending. It's really however you want to play, which is nice. I like it. The design of the back of the cards is also very cool. So feel free to answer some of these questions. I will be asking probably like 2 or 3, and then we will be done for the day. All right. Here's the question. Where in the human body would you find the tympanum? Tympanum. Let me try to write this out, and maybe you guys will know. Here we go. Where in the human body would you find the tympanum? I apologize for any spelling mistakes here, and no cheating. So the question is down below. I'd love to hear if you guys know. So here are the multiple choice options that I will give you. Is it A, the heart? Is it B, the ear? C, the kidney? or D, the nose? So the question is down here: heart, ear, kidney, or nose? And I honestly would just have to guess. I would probably not know the answer to this. I actually don't even know what the purpose of a tympanum is. So I'm curious to see if somebody may know the answer just right off the bat. So the question, oh my goodness, okay. Question down here, is it A, heart, B, ear, C, kidney, or D, nose? So I'm going to wait just a few more seconds because there is a little bit of a delay here. And then I will let you guys know the answer and we'll move on to the next question. And I haven't seen anything quite yet. Don't be shy. I know some of these questions can be crazy difficult. All right, so the answer is ear. B, ear. That is where you'd find the tympanum. And I'm curious if anybody knows like what the function of that is. All right, so let's see. These are bizarre. They're supposed to be bizarre questions, but let me see if I can find something that's really, really. Ooh, okay, interesting. Oh, I didn't know this. Okay, so what keeps your bath water warmer for longer? Is it A, bath salts, B, a cast iron, C, soap bubbles, or D, splashing? This one's an interesting one. So I'm going to type in the question here. All right, so here is the question. I'm just going to show it here. What keeps your bath water warmer for longer? This one was kind of a wild. I would not have got that one right at all. So we'll do this one and one more, and then we will move forward. So is it A, bath salts, B, cast iron, C, soap bubbles, or D, splashing? Let's see if anybody can get the answer to this. I'm going to wait a few more seconds and then we will move on. All right. This is actually soap bubbles. Isn't that crazy? I would not have guessed that. I'm wondering why. I want to know the science behind that. So soap bubbles keeps your bath water warmer for longer. All right, my next question and my final question from this deck is electorophobia is the fear of what? I actually have to admit, I did have this and I'm starting to weasel my way out of this. Is it A, elephants, B, lizards, C, chickens, or D, worms? So I'll write this one down. Hopefully somebody will be able to get this one. So I hope I said that right. Electorophobia is the fear of what? Elephants, lizards, chickens, or worms? Hopefully somebody knows. I didn't know this is what it was, but I definitely had this when I was a kid, for sure. All right, so nobody's answered yet. Okay, so the answer to this one is actually chickens. So that electorophobia is the fear of chickens. And yes, I did have a fear of chickens. They chased me around and they're evil little dinosaurs, honestly. That's what they are. All right, you guys, thank you so much for watching this this trivia game show. Also joining in, especially Gabrielle. I don't know if you're still there, but thank you. Also, Make sure to keep us in mind for future dark stuff, for Halloween stuff. So give us a follow if you love the dark aesthetic. We go over books, children's toys, witchy essentials, Halloween decorations, basically everything creepy. That's us over here. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully, we'll see you guys later.